Howdy dads. Um, yeah, I just wanted to make something, felt like I should do something. Um, Man, I know a lot of us got to feel that way. A lot of us don't know what to do. A lot of us are in different phases of our struggle, phases of emotions. Um, I'm not going to speak too much on my own, situation because, like anything else, man, nobody experiences things the same way, but I think we all feel the same effects, and it has the same effects on us, regardless of where we come from, what kind of people we are, what kind of lives we lived. Um, yeah, I've had a particularly tough time dealing with things, and in all honesty, I would take my situation as bad as it is. I'm on a monitor, and I would take my situation over some of you guys' situations. Honestly, I'm not what most people would consider a good model stand-up citizen. I'm not a career criminal or nothing, but I'm I've been a bastard in my life, But regardless of that, um, you know, a little brief history of my situation here, and without, like I said, without specifics, is obviously I'm in a similar struggle as you guys. I haven't seen my kids now in 9 months. Um, you know, there was a point in time in the beginning, the mother and I were we were working together, which is kind of a unique situation, I guess. It's not that way now. It's been split up, and any of you guys that did you guys know the defects are motherfuckers? Yeah, I'm here to tell you. But uh, man, when this first happened, in my mind, I'm like, where the fuck are all the fathers at, man? They're taking our kids, and like, how come I haven't heard of anybody going and mowing these fuckers down in the streets? And it's like I couldn't fathom in my head why nobody had done anything, as I'm sitting doing nothing. Ultimately, um, man, it's given me a new um, appreciation for the struggles of others, and really, I understand a lot of things I never would have thought that I'd understand. In the beginning, I thought my case was unique, and I thought they were just out to get me, and man, that rode me pretty hard. And then I found the website, the Father's Rights Movement page, and I never felt so. I was relieved in a sense, but I was also pissed, man. I was so fucking pissed. It was cookie cutter shit, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, it was. You know how it is. You know the futility of it. You know the ridiculousness of it. And some of us made mistakes. Some of us just got had disagreements. Some of them your wife or your old lady's just a bitch. Don't want you to see the kids. Some of them we all have our unique situations, man. But one thing is for sure that I don't think that anybody that is out here looking at pages like Father's Rights is I'm sure there's a minimal amount of us in here that actually really did anything that deserved to lose our fucking kids. Um, and the way that makes you feel, and I see it all the time. There's been times that there was actually a particular time where I was more active on the page, and I was seeking out. I felt compelled to, after what I went through, two suicide attempts. Well, um, one suicide attempt and one bad reaction. But regardless, man, you're not alone. And I know that's no consolation. I know there's nothing that nobody could tell you. And there's things that people could tell you, And in my case, it used to piss me off, especially when I've had people actually tell me they mean well, but when they say you just gotta learn, you gotta let it go. I'm like, that's like telling a cancer patient that time heals all wounds. You just you know one of the main things that I felt almost immediately was the absence of people. In my mind, I construed it as they're believing what is being said, and I'm also being deluded that everybody even knows what's going on. And another sentiment that I hear all the time, and I felt myself, was popular saying is, you really find out who your friends are. You find out who your people are when the shit gets down, and you ain't got nobody. I felt that way too. Um, my situation. I've had a lot of time to sit and think. My situation is unique in that I ain't got to worry about my place going anywhere, and as empty as it is. But this is the second time I've gone through this. As far as like losing, you don't ever lose your kids. I mean, first of all, but that's um. But it fucks your head up, and you think that, okay, well, you got to think of it this way, man. You're not yourself. You're not being yourself. You're not the person that you were. And if you are, I would be worried about you. I would be worried about myself. If you could take this shit in stride and just be normal, and people aren't turning their back on you so much because they don't care. Um, I've had people come back around after I started getting a little bit better and say, man, they don't know what to say, man. What do you say to somebody that, I mean, from what I've read, the studies say that this kind of situation is short of getting a terminal disease or the death of a child, is the worst thing you'll ever go through. Which I don't want to tempt fate and say that things are can't get any worse, and then don't do that, man. Don't do it. Um, some of us come into this with pre-existing issues, PTSD and all this other stuff, and if you didn't have it when you started, you're probably going to have it. You're probably going to have symptoms. If you've never had any kind of mental things that you're not going to understand. Hell, even if you have them, you're not going to understand them. And I alienated, mainly because, and I think I share, the same feelings with, a lot of guys out there. Any man is not going to want people to see him in the emotional state that this brings about, and the weakness, and we're it's bred into our heads that we're not supposed to show these things, and we're supposed to. It's embarrassing. Um, Personally, I made a decision in the beginning that I was going to document everything, and I did. I got hundreds of hours of videos of me losing my mind. Uh, so it's hard to watch, but it's led me to a lot of I've seen things that I would have not have seen otherwise. Um, I can't necessarily suggest that other people do it, because um, it kind of does exacerbate it when you're sitting there, and it makes you feel even more alone. But um, I took myself to a particularly dark place, and honestly, uh, I can't sit here and definitively say that anything that I felt is unique, because every time I think that, I see it somewhere else. But part of me wanted this to be what ended me, man, because I felt like, looking back at it later on, people would be like, "Oh, what happened to him? Oh, all this stuff happened, and he lost his kids, and all this stuff happened, and he fucking." And I felt like people would understand that, and having and moving through it and seeing how nothing is the way you think it's going to be. You think the truth matters, the truth don't matter. You think all these things, and of course the truth matters. Of course, be prepared to be let down, to say the least. Um, you're gonna need you're you're man, it's hard shit, man. I know some of you guys are just coming in on this, and I mean it's good that you've actually found this, the site or whatever. If you're getting this off the site, if you're not getting it off the site, whatever, I'm just um and hopefully, and I know it don't make you feel, like I said, don't make you feel no better, but there is a sense of uh relief. It wasn't for me anyway, but I know where you're at. Um, not all men, like I said, not all men deal with things the same way. You got angry men. I'm an angry fucker. You got sad man. I went through all these emotions, man. You get on here, you see people. Oh fuck! If I would have did it, but you got to realize that you know, even on if you find this stuff, it's like, man, we're all going through it, and like I said, people are not coming around. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. No, there's nothing that nobody can tell you as far as make you feel better. I've got a couple things to tell you. To keep in mind. And you know, the first being, like I said, that be mindful of the fact that people aren't just turning their back on you and abandoning you, and you're gonna feel that way. Like I said, I alienated myself, and then was at one point it was like, man, everybody left me, and did it. It's just it's part of it, man, and it's horrible, and it's gonna happen. And at some point in time, it's fucking sad. It's man, it hurts like nothing, man. I mean, personally, I mean, there's a lot of you vets out there that have seen some shit, and I'm not a vet, but I've seen some shit. I've seen some nasty, gory shit, and I've seen some bad things happen. And this, in a sense, was so much worse. So much worse. The dreams, the bad dreams, having bad dreams, waking up, and then, freaked out because it's bad dreams. And then, I made mention about tempting fate, saying things can't get any worse. When that was happening, I'm like, oh, what next? And, I got locked up for frivolous, aggravated stalking. Uh, and I started hearing kids in jail. I don't know if they're my kids, just hearing kids like playing. If you've ever heard things, don't judge me, but you hear things. It's like, okay, well, I mean, I've heard things for a long time. I know I can kind of discern when things aren't there, and I'm pretty sure there ain't no kids in jail. Hopefully, but something that's that normally under normal circumstances would bring you joy fucking destroys you. And then in my case, the dreams, they weren't bad anymore. I would have good dreams, and waking up into a nightmare. And I'm not through this by any means, man. I'm still in the middle of it. And I've been to a mental institution a few times. So I'm not giving you any kind of post-traumatic or this isn't as much a pep talk, man, as it is just then you ain't alone in this thing. You're not the only one this is happening to, and it is bad. What the other thing I really wanted to stress to you guys too, and that is a realization that I've had among many, 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 many realizations that I've had, that I have to brace myself. You have to brace yourself for the very likely possibility that you ain't gonna see your kids for a while, and there's nothing that's gonna make that easy. Of course, you're gonna exacerbate it. You're gonna forget. It's gonna ruminate. You're gonna sit there. You're gonna see everything. I'm sitting in my daughter's room right now. I got my kids. They play the house just exactly the way they left it, and it's different. I can't walking by the toy section in Walmart, seeing kids in public is it's hard. But you immerse yourself in any situation, I guess, day after day after day. It doesn't get easier, it just gets less traumatic, I think. But what you're going through, and however you go through it, and however you get through it, I believe that I'm not through it, like I said, but I'm through a part of it, and I feel like it's my responsibility as a human being to seek it out in others, because the way I felt, I don't feel like anybody deserves to feel that way. Nobody. And I just I don't want to see. I wouldn't want to see that in my worst enemy. I wouldn't want to see that in my mother-in-law. Okay. um, and not only that, you see it. I mean, you can look at people and you see it immediately. Just like the PTSD when you got it. You see it in people. And I've never been this humanitarian. I've cared about my people. Whoever my people is, like, yeah, kill or die, whatever. But now, man, I feel a connection to people that I may have nothing in common with, and it's because of the pain, and it humbled me a lot, but it also it changed me, and that's going to end up being my main point in all of this. But what you're going through, if you wake up every day and you tell yourself, no matter how bad it is, that when it's over, you're going to know how to get through it. And that someday your kid or one of your children is going to be in some kind of situation like this. And at some point in time in their life, they will be, without a doubt. If not the same situation, or if not a situation stemming from the situation, like being raised by a fucking junkie mother, or a narcissistic mother that fucking downplays them, calls them both sort of names, and it's gonna suck. Or, I don't even want to get into the whole stepdad thing and what'll happen there. I don't think I have to elaborate with anybody that's watching this, but this is the suffering, man, and I don't, people view different things different ways. I'm not a religious man. This has, however, kicked in my maybe not even spirituality, but there's a weird things start happening, and just go with your heart, man. If you think with things with your head and your heart don't speak the same language. They're not going to understand each other. And if you battle them, man, it's gonna hurt even worse. And when I said I was wondering where the fathers were, I found them. I found a lot of them at the end of that rope. I found a lot of them, doing whatever I had to do to not feel, shutting it off. And I feel for anybody else that felt, throughout in my experience. At one point, I was terrified because I felt nothing. I thought I had literally, literally shut it off for good. People say, I would rather feel sadness and anger and all this other crap, man. But when everybody claims to want it, or everyone claims that they have it, but nobody realizes when you really get the apathy. Now, maybe not apathy, indifference, to where it's like, whatever, it is what it is. It didn't hurt in the moment, but after I realized what had happened, I realized that I had essentially done probably what another big group of people do and fathers do, but then I can understand now too as well, as they shut it off. And I'm like, how could you shut off? It get to a point, and personally, in my case, I have bucked the entire time. It was a lie to begin with. It came back as a lie again, and I have not sat down. I have not shut up, and I'm not going to. If they told me they'd give me my kids back tomorrow, if I just shut the fuck up, I wouldn't do it. Not because of the point or this and that, but because, like I said, every time I've gone with my heart, and this is, unicorns and rainbows and blah, 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 all this bullshit, but every time I've gone and done what was in my heart, I know that at the end of the day, it ain't going to matter what happens, that I'm going to sleep no matter where I sleep. And whether it be in a jail cell, whether it be wherever. Because you know what, I would rather I'd rather be sitting in a jail cell knowing that I did what I felt was right than be sitting out here in the free world regretting that I didn't do. And that'll be on you. But like I said, I have a history. I have a violent history. I mean, it's 20 some odd years old, but my case is different. I'm not suggesting that you normal 9 to 5ers and blue collars out there with nice new stuff and I'm not suggesting that you do that. But if you're in my situation there, I know there's a lot of people out there like me. There's a lot of men out there like me that live normal. Not normal. I keep making these distinctions, these stereotypes, but not all of us are fucking angels. And this game is a dirty fucking game. It makes no sense. It appeals to no common sense. It is just, they're out to get you, and they're gonna hang you one way or another. And it's just the way it is. This not the time to be a man. It's the women's right movement, blah blah, all this other stuff. It sounds crazy, but you start looking into it. When I first got into this, and I started looking, I'm like, this is like propaganda. What the fuck is this? I'm like, it is 100%. I promise you, real shit. And the more ridiculous and crazy it sounds, the more you're spot on. There's books you can read. There's a legal kidnapping. A brother that I found out here on this page. And you start reading into this stuff, and you see it's a fucking puppy mill, man. It's it's about money. It's about money. They don't care about your kids, other than the fact that they're gonna make money off them one way or another, and that sick kids are worth more than the healthy kids. They're gonna try to put them on meds. They're gonna turn you, no matter what. I believe, no matter where you are, you're the devil. You're gonna be the devil. I went from being a good dad. I mean, I could have been better, with the mother. There was always the drama, and whatnot. But 10 years we were together, and not throwing stones, whatever. But she had her issues. I was a good dad, and now I am a child abusing, aggravated stalking, woman beater that fucks fish and cats. Somehow or another. Don't be careful about what you joke about in your text messages also, and document every fucking thing. And again, it might not do no good, because you come at these people with 100% sense and freaking proof, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But don't focus on that either, man. I wish I could tell you that I don't wish I could tell you nothing. Keep your head up, because you know what? You're a fucking man. And the other main point that I wanted to make too was something that my mother shared. My mother had to come. My mommy. Okay, I'm 45 years old. Had to come from across the country in Arizona. She didn't have to. She just knew something wasn't right. And she was here for 5-6 months, and not giving me advice, not this and that. And, she kept saying, and you're going to realize, I think that what a lot of people say are going to piss you off, no matter what they say. And my mom just said, you just got to be you, then that's all you can really do. And somebody telling me that that's all I could do pissed me off, because it felt like I couldn't do anything really. No matter how good it felt, no matter how right I felt about it. And every time I cooperated, every time I did, my situation got worse. But my mom said, just keep being yourself. And that's the ticket, man. Because you know what? It doesn't matter, if you're one of these badass dads out there that, freaking fighting tooth, fang, and nail, and you're freaking, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to get your kid and you're making progress, that's fucking awesome. I mean, goddamn good. Go do it. But even then, are you still you at the end of the day? If you come through this depressed and you let it beat you down, and are you still you at the end of the day? Does it even matter if you fought? Does it even matter if you're depressed? And who your kid's going to remember? Who's going to come out on the other side of this? Is it going to be you? Is it still going to be you? Are you still going to be you? Because otherwise, brother, they win no matter what. No matter what. If you change because of this, they all win. I mean, they're the only ones that do win. There is no winning this battle, man. No matter how it turns out, there's only less of a loss. You know, whether you're fighting the mother, you're doing their work for them. You know, that's another thing. You know, try to be careful on bashing, man, because you'll be judged later on by your children and how they'll see eventually, and maybe they won't. I don't know. I like to think from my personal experience that I just had that not talking shit and bashing and telling even the truth, man. It's for my kids' sake. I would rather them not remember any of it. Right, bad, good, wrong. I would rather them just love their mom, and I would hope that they would, exes or other families and whatnot would extend me the same, which they didn't. But my oldest daughter just moved back to Florida to be down there with them, and it hurt. It hurt bad. I ain't gonna lie, it hurt. It sucked at a time, but it also gave me a sense of pride because you know what? It was a victory of sorts for me because she didn't hate him. Because it's hard not to talk shit, man. It is hard not to bash the other person. It is, and especially when it's true, and especially when you're being demonized. And it sucks because especially when you can't see him. But it's short of things that come to mind initially, which I'm sure we all know. I mean, what do you do? I mean, what can you really do? They got you by the balls. There's some things you could do, but we're not here to talk about those kinds of things. I'm human, man. You're human. You think about shit. Personally, man, I found I don't even. I'm gonna joke here. If there's any out there, I don't mean to offend you, but if dudes weren't so hairy and ugly and had penises, I'd probably go queer, so I wouldn't have to deal with a woman ever again after this. I just can't. Whatever. To each their own. But keep yourself, man. Keep yourself no matter what. It sucks, man. Waking up sucks. Getting up sucks. Going to work every day, I wouldn't know because I haven't done it in a while. But like I said, I have. But man, don't get out there, man. And people, when you start getting back out there with people, and get out of your fucking head. Get out of your head. Get out of there, man. It's dark. Keep yourself busy. And look for others, man. Look for others. That was really the first thing that helped, and I'm trying to get back to that because there was a situation where 6 months of silence with the mother, and she came back out of nowhere when I was doing good, and kind of kicked me back into a cycle after that. But I'm trying to get back into it. It doesn't last as long. I don't want to think that you ever get used to it, and I think part of me personally was preventing me. I didn't want to get used to the fact. I didn't want it to feel better. I did not want to ever not feel broken about this. And like I said, I wanted it to be what ended me, honestly, because it felt so futile for me because of my history, and I just know from seeing people on there that got a tax evasion or something, and they use that against them. I got a lot more than that. And I got a history as well with other, being in a gentleman's club that rides motorcycles and has people think bad things about, which is not necessarily true. But I'm sure there's a lot of you guys out there too. But just like I said, I know none of this is going to make you feel better, but just knowing that there's not just somebody, there's somebodies, and believe me, it seems like almost every time you talk to somebody, it'll have some kind of similarity to your case, no matter what it is or how ridiculous it is. And it made me feel like, man. And then the more you look into it, and it's like, man, I don't want to say too much because I know people they'll watch you and they're gonna use stuff against you and like I said, if you're the type to be careful and you really care and you're really going to work on a case, be careful what you say, be careful what you do. Uh, I'm of the opinion, fuck DFACS, fuck the family court. You're a bunch of fucking assholes, you jokes. And that's how I feel, and that's how I'm gonna feel. And that's how my kids are going to see me feel. And that's how they're going to remember me. Because I'm going to make sure I make enough fucking noise for them to hear me a decade from now. And, fuck them. At no turn would I expect some kind of fair treatment. At no turn would I expect any kind of reason from these people. Wherever you're at might be different. I doubt it. They're federally funded freaking, most of the ones here in West Georgia are especially bad. There's history here and whatnot with them lacking and they're under their microscope and it's dirty. It's dirty. But I'm not gonna back down now. No matter how you're fighting, man, don't back down. Don't just don't delude yourself into defeating yourself. Because really, that's the only defeat that there is, man. They can't beat you. They cannot take from you what is. It cannot be replaced. They cannot take your kids from you, no matter what, no matter what happens. They cannot take your kids. That's something along the lines of you have to give. You have to give that up. I don't mean in court. I mean in your heart. And a lot of people do that, and I feel like that's a lot because more of us aren't out here talking to each other and supporting each other and helping each other keep our minds off of shit, man. And it really, at the end of the day, if it does nothing else, then keep us more like ourselves or better selves even. Because I don't want my kids to see, I think back, I don't want them to see this as what broke me. And with me not cooperating and all this other crap, I mean, I got a badass lawyer and all this other stuff. Things happen too, man. Weird things happen in my situation, and I get what I need. That's all I say. When I work, and a lot of people I talk to, when you do what's right in your heart, like I said, I'm not a religious man, but I'm a man of faith, I guess you could say. I'm gonna get what I need. No matter what it is. If it's bad, I needed it. And there's been a lot of that too, man. I needed to go through what I went through in order to come out of it on this side with this enlightenment, I guess you could say. Because, man, there's nothing good about it. I know there's people that have been in horrible relationships. I mean, I know my relationship wasn't horrible. There was things, but it was a lot of a mental illness on both halves. Stomach illness. It's not constant. And anyway, that's just what I wanted. A little freaking keep your heads up, man, and you're not alone. And if you really want to get down into it, I'm not promoting my own shit, but on this same site, man, you see some of the videos of the shit that I went through, and don't feel bad about the shit that you went through. Trust me, it's embarrassing as fuck. But you know what? I own that shit because and that's another thing, man. You should be hurt where you're hurt, and don't be ashamed of it. And just like I said, own that shit. Move through it. Do not stop. And don't put yourself in situations where if you've got guns, kind of put your guns away. If you're known to get depressed and stuff, man, you just get up in the morning and go walk. I did it in jail. I started doing it in jail. I still do it. Get your minds off of things, man. Don't take it out of your mind. Just and fight with love. No matter what, fight with love. Because hate and anger, they will cripple you. No matter what, you'll get stuck there, like I do frequently. And I might still, hell, I'll probably be stuck in anger later on today, some point in time. But dads, heads up, man, and share your stories. It's uplifting. Let people see it. Don't sugarcoat it. Show them how you feel. Like nobody's gonna learn anything, or from showing the just the good shit. Show the bad, man. Let them see what they're doing, and don't hit back. It sounds like some Dalai Lama fucking Jesus-y type shit, man. But just take it. We're man enough. We got broad shoulders. Just take it to the point you can take it, and remind me to do the same. Hangman's Diary.